In this video, I'm going to go over everything that has changed on the DJI Fly app for the DJI Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3S. The Fly app settings have changed a lot over this last year. So in 2025, I'm going to show you all the settings that you need to change. There's been a lot of name changes, new features added, and for beginners, this is really confusing. So let's get into it. So whilst demonstrating this on the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3S, I'm going to be using the latest DJI Fly app update, which is 1.16.0, and the firmware version is 01.00.0800, and that's the same on the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3S. So I'm going to just use the one controller to show you all these different settings. So if you do have both of these drones, the first thing to note is if you might have two of these RC2 controllers, DJI don't really like giving you the drone without getting a controller as well. But you don't actually need to use two controllers. So if you're going on a trip, you're taking both these drones with you, you can just take one. So put this controller aside, and then you can actually just go into the new Connect to Aircraft menu, and you can actually switch between all the different aircrafts that can actually connect to the RC2. So all you need to do is just turn your RC2 on. You don't need to turn any of these drones on. Click Connect to Aircraft and you'll see this new menu now. So everything is laid out rather than before where you would scroll across. Now it's in different sections. So these are only the drones that are relating to be able to be compatible with the RC2. So you've got the DJI Air series, so the DJI Air 3S and the Air 3. And you can click on Mini, you've got the Mini 4 Pro, you've got the DJI Neo, and then the new DJI Flip at the bottom of it. So this menu is different, it's similar to before, but it's a little bit better organized. And if you've got the DJI Care Refresh plan, whenever you get these drones, I do recommend it. It's like an insurance plan for these drones. If you have a crash or a flyaway, it's going to be covered. So on this screen again, you can actually click on service, which is at the bottom of the screen. And on here, you're going to see different menus. So service requests, DJI Care Refresh, the flyaway service, and you can actually go and look at some of the frequently asked questions. So let's just say, for instance, you have an issue with your Mini 4 Pro, you can click service request. It'll ask you what region you're in, and then you can actually start a new service request for the Mini 4 Pro directly from the RC2. So that's pretty cool. And also you'll see before you fly. So you don't actually have to be connected to your drone to do this. And this has changed a lot and a lot of controversy surrounding this. So firstly, what is this good for? Well, this is going to give you the knowledge about actually going to a location. You can plan ahead and actually look in a certain area what it's like to actually go and use your drone there. So for instance, I can search for any region. So I can type in, let's say, Europe, and it will select, let's just say, Edinburgh. Now this is going to show you now a map of Edinburgh, and on the screen you see all these little thumbnails, these little icons of pictures or videos, and these are all different drone pilots who have gone to this area and they've took a photo or a video, and they can then share that directly, what the restrictions are like, and then you can click on here as well, and then you can see larger photos or videos of what these operators have done. So it's really good at getting inspiration to see what certain areas are like. And I would say it's better than using Google Maps or just searching around a map, just looking for points of interest. From here, you can actually go and actually move around. I would say that the DJI RC2, it's like having a phone from 10 years ago. It is not fast. If you're familiar with an iPad or a phone and the speeds of them now with the software, it is pretty laggy. And also on this menu, you can click before flying. Now what this enables you to do is you can actually select the aircraft that you're going to be flying. So let's just say Mini 4 Pro, for example, and it then tells you on the screen exactly what you need to be able to do to fly a Mini 4 Pro in that area. So you're going to need to have an operator registration with the CAA, then you can click on more and it tells you all the details about how you can actually do that. And I can also change up location. I can actually look for, say, Palm Springs in California. But if I was to switch it up and say I'm going to be taking the DJI Air 3S, now in this menu I get an option which says I need to register your drone. It tells you how and why you need to do this. So that's really good for planning ahead. Now what has also changed really recently is that DJI have took off the geofencing. So what that was is that basically all around the world you have different flight restriction zones. So I'm not going to get into that into complete depth. Basically, if you was to fly near an airport or a prison, you're going to have a no-fly zone. You're not allowed to fly in that area. And on this map, on the DJI app, you would always have different flight restriction zones. It would show you exactly where you can and can't fly. Now what DJI have done, they've removed all of that. So they've put the onus straight onto you, the operator. So again, in the Palm Springs area, if I was to look on this, I can see a circle around it, and that now just says enhanced warning zone. But before what you would have different levels of zones all around the Palm Springs area. Because I know for a fact that they have an airport there, the Palm Springs International. So if I were to actually zoom into there, there isn't any sort of restriction showing me. If I click on it, it's just saying enhanced warning zone. But because DJI have removed all these restrictions now and put the onus on you, it means in the past when you was to go to that area, you would get your Mini 4 Pro, you'd be in that restriction zone and your drone wouldn't be able to take off because the software would lock it. This is for safety and for you to comply with those laws. Now you could go to that area and you could take off. And there's two ways to look at this. Now for commercial pilots, this is going to be great. Say you've got approval from a stadium to actually get some photos of it for them. You contact the FAA, they also approve it. You then have to contact DJI and get them to take this software restriction off. You don't have to do that now because now DJI are just not involved. You would still need to actually contact whoever it is, that stadium. You would still need to get approval from the FAA, but that is it. So for commercial pilots, for professionals, it's great. It's not going to be great for those new drone pilots or the very small minority of drone operators who don't really give a shit about the laws. They're going to get their drone, go right outside a stadium, take it off, and cause all sorts of nuisance and bother. And all that's going to do is bring more restrictions for the overall drone community. So I don't know how to look at this. So those are the features on the home screen. Now I'm going to go through some of the features that have changed for both of these drones. Some name changes, some features that have been added, and features that you still just shouldn't use. Let's get into that. So these settings are really difficult to actually remember when you're out flying. So don't forget I have my own digital cheat sheets and a physical book that show you exactly how to get the very most out of your drones when you're out flying. All the settings to change everything that you need to do. But I've also just introduced my DJI Mini 4 Pro cheat sheets ebook. So this is a digital format, but it's going to be 50 pages long. So a massive book that you're going to be able to take with you, keep it on your phone, your iPad. It's fantastic. And it goes through all the different settings and information, tips on the Mini 4 Pro in a lot more detail, covering all these different pages. But it also covers topics like how to work with brands, how to make money with your drone, how to do video editing, color grading. So a lot more topics have been added for the Mini 4 Pro. It's been completely redesigned, has color-coded chapters so you can actually navigate to each chapter really easily. So we now have 3 different versions. The standard cheat sheets, which go through just the settings. You have a physical book, which you can actually get shipped to you. It comes with a carabiner clip. You can actually keep this with you, and it's a physical version of those cheat sheets. And you now have the ultimate ebook. So a really in-depth 50-page ebook is also available. Now for the DJI Air3S, I've also just introduced my first cheat sheets for this as well. There's also going to be an ebook for the DJI Air3S dropping in the next week or two. I'm going to link this at the top of the description if you want to go and check these out. Also video lots, they're all going to be there. Now a great feature that's been added to both of these drones. On the Air3S, you've got obstacle avoidance sensors all around the drone. Same on the Mini 4 Pro, but you can actually look out of here now through the Vision Assist menu. So you can see out of these obstacle avoidance sensors. That's going to be great when you're flying in really close, tight areas. Maybe you've got trees to the side of you, you're going under a bridge. You want to actually see directly out of these cameras and not just a camera on the front of the drone. But in the past, what you would have to do is you go to the bottom left-hand corner. When you have your compass icon, you would swipe right twice, and then you would see the Vision Assist camera. You can click on that to enlarge it, and then you can actually select which one of these cameras you want to look out of. These little arrows on the screen, you can actually look forwards, left, right, and down. It is really, really good. But now with the new updates here, what you can do is you can actually have both the Vision Assist camera and the compass on the screen at the same time. So when the Vision Assist camera is actually located in the bottom left hand corner, you just press on it and actually press and hold to drag this around your screen. And you can drag it and place it anywhere you want. So now dropped on the left hand side, this allows you now to have the Vision Assist camera and the compass on the screen at the same time. A really good feature that's been added. And with the release of the DJI Air3S, we saw a new focus track mode icon on the left hand side. So just above where it says takeoff or land and underneath waypoints, you'll see this little like square with a dot in the middle of it. And I think on the same day, maybe a day after, the DJI Mini 4 Pro also got this via a firmware update. So what does this do? Well, in the past, what you do is you actually drag a box on the screen to actually identify yourself, might be an object, a building, a car. Well, instead of doing that, all you have to do now is click on that focus track icon. And what that's going to do is going to actually scan that area and look for anything that the drone thinks it can track. So you'll see these plus icons on the screen now, and then you can actually begin active track. You can do spotlight or POI just from clicking on them. But you'll notice you also see a C1 button flash on the screen as well. So if you actually hit the C1 button on your controller, this will then automatically go into what it's called aesthetic tracking mode. And the drone will then automatically track the subject and start to begin on its own. Now, I will say the tracking on the DJI Air 3S for this mode works so well, because what the drone does, it actually moves into different angles to try and get the most like aesthetic angles of you or that vehicle. Because it has much bigger propellers, it's a lot more powerful, it is a lot easier at getting into these different angles, whereas the Mini 4 Pro, because it's slower, it's not as powerful, it's not as good, but it's still decent. What about if you want to use your DJI goggles with these drones? So you get this really immersive view when you're using this. It's super wide angle screens on here. It is great. It also cuts down any reflections that you're going to see on the controller. So how do we do it? So the Mini 4 Pro is compatible with the DJI Goggles 2, the DJI Goggles Integra, and the new DJI Goggles 3. Now, when this first was released via a firmware update, you could only use your Mini 4 Pro with the goggles when you were flying it with the motion controller. Now, this is all right, but you know, it'd be a bit limited in the functions of this. This is more suited to flying like the DJI Avata FPV drone. So you'll see where it says go fly, it says connect above it, and I did a full video how you can actually get this really good combo set up. So if you want to go and watch that, I'm going to put it at the end of this video. What about the DJI Air 3S? Well, the DJI Air 3S has no goggle support. Now, it could be added with a firmware update. This hasn't happened since it's come out. But personally, I think that this just won't happen. I think they're going to phase it out. So you're not going to be able to use your DJI goggles with cinematic drones. And it's purely going to be for FPV compatible drones. The Mini 4 Pro could be the last cinematic drone that you can actually use your goggles with. So let's now jump into some of these key settings here. I'll show you which ones to change on both of these drones, and also a couple of name changes that actually got changed a year ago and now are back to like the norm again. It's honestly so confusing. Now, one of my favorite features on both of these drones is Active Track. Getting the drone to automatically track you is fantastic. Well, DJI changed the name of Active Track last year to Active Shots, and they changed Focus Track to Smart Shots. Well, that has changed again. So it's now back to the original names of Active Track and Focus Track. I've honestly no idea why. It's hard to keep up at times, but both drones do have fantastic tracking options where you can track yourself from close or far, just from literally dragging your finger on the icon in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen. And you can also switch it up to different angles just by dragging your finger around. And unlike drones like the DJI Neo, DJI Flip, both of these drones can track vehicles including bikes, cars and boats. And the Air 3S having the additional advantage of being able to track vehicles from both near and far positions, whereas the Mini 4 Pro can only track from just one fixed position. You can also go into the settings and change the distance on how far or close you want that drone to track you from. So when the drone is tracking you, if you want it to actually be a little bit further away, you can do this just from adjusting this slider. So if we look at some of the key settings now on both these drones, obstacle avoidance action, set this to bypass 90% of the time, unless you're going through somewhere with like a really small gap or a tight space, then you want to turn your sensors off. But majority of the time, you want to keep these switched on. Your max height, this should normally be 120 meters, 400 feet, unless you have permission to go higher. And your return to home altitude should be taller than the highest object in your area. However, on the DJI Air 3S, this has the best in terms of return to home I have ever seen. It also is equipped with a LiDAR sensor on the front. So the drone is constantly plotting the location and storing that location, including the home points. So on the DJI Air 3S, I don't select preset, I set it to optimal. Then the drone is going to fly back to you in the best and like quickest way it deems, and it is so accurate, it's unbelievable. At the bottom of this page, you'll see advanced safety settings. From here, you want to choose return to home. In case you have a signal loss, the drone is going to come straight back to its home point. But what about if your home point is changing? You might be in a moving vehicle, you might be cycling your bike, in which case set this to hover. Now on the DJI Air 3S only, at the bottom of this menu, you want to ensure ADS-B is enabled. This will broadcast other aircraft in that area and show you on a map and also the compass icon exactly where other nearby aircraft are, including the location and the height. This is a really handy feature. Now for colour, I use D-Log-M on both of these drones. If you're just starting off, normal is fine, but by using D-Log-M, you're going to get a flat colour profile. It's going to protect the highlights and shadows, gives you a lot more options. The quality is better, and then you can use video LUTs to enhance this and put your own style on. Now, I would say under the sharpness setting, turn this down to -2, otherwise that footage is going to be far too sharp. And always have an ND filter on, no matter which drone you have. This is going to reduce some of that light and glare hitting the sensor, so it's going to look a lot more natural with an ND filter. So those are some of the key settings. If you want more knowledge, go and check out my new ebook for the Mini 4 Pro. It's coming really soon for the Air 3S. You also get a printed version on my website, so it's all going to be linked at the top of the description. So some fantastic new features have been added. We've had some new name changes, but overall it's great to see just how many features DJI do give us after a drone has been released. Problems can get sorted with firmware, so it's really good to see this. I don't know how long we're going to see new features for the Mini 4 Pro, but I really hope we do. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps get this video to more places. Subscribe if you're new around here, because there's a lot of new videos coming out really soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.